Elite Facts presents
7 unbelievable Irish ghost tales that will haunt your dreams.
7.
The Black Cat of Kilkee. So the fact that many large houses have cats roaming around the grounds, hunting rats, clawing up the curtains, and peeing on all the good furniture they can goddamn find isn't anything out of the ordinary. But the Kilkee house in Dublin is particularly unfortunate in this respect. The Black Cat of Kilkee is an old, legendary creature that has reportedly been sighted in the area for centuries. But its legend really sprung to life in 1968 when a young couple bought the rundown Kilkee house and started renovating it. Soon after the renovations began, the workers reported hearing strange sounds and experiencing eerie events, which really came to a head when a huge black cat with glowing demon eyes appeared and vanished in the blink of an eye, frightening the workers immensely. At first, the lady of the house thought that the workmen were just superstitious, but then she and her husband started encountering the beast too. The black cat reportedly appeared in hallways and areas with clearly locked doors, staring and snarling at frightened witnesses. An exorcism was performed and it took care of the cat, for a few months at least. An unwitting seance held by a group of actors not only brought the black cat back, but caused the house to also be haunted by a pair of ghostly nuns.
6.
The Moving Virgin Mary of the Ballinspittle. The Virgin Mary statue is something that has been linked to many horror stories from around the globe, leading many people to believe that these statues have mysterious properties. Most of them are limited to crying or bleeding, but in 1985, a particular Irish statue of the Holy Mother showed a special ability stronger than that. It actually started moving. The Moving Virgin Mary statue of Ballinspittle was first witnessed by a retired police sergeant who saw it begin levitating in the grotto of the church. At first, he simply couldn't believe his own eyes because the statue was solid concrete. Instead of just going about with his business as usual, he went back the next day to inspect it more closely, and realizing that there was no chance of foul play, he became convinced that he had witnessed a miraculous event. The legend of the statue started spreading, and others started claiming that they had also seen it move. Now, we're not saying with any certainty that this is a paranormal event, as there has been widespread debate about whether this is something supernatural or a prank being played by someone or just some sort of a strange, unexplainable coincidence. But scientists have written the statue's abilities off as an optical illusion, and even the Irish Catholic Church doubts the story. Despite all of this, witnesses to the phenomenon stand by their claims. Some believers say they can still see the statue move sometimes.
5.
Nightmares of Lafcadio Hearn. This is one of the few pieces of literature on this list, and it's a fun tale to learn about, and is also kind of great due to its gothic undertones. Lafcadio Hearn's horror essay, Nightmare Touch, appears in 2010's The Penguin Book of Ghost Stories, From Elizabeth Gaskell to Ambrose Bierce. But what readers who are unfamiliar with the author's life may not realize is that the story is somewhat autobiographical. Patrick Lafcadio Hearn was born in Greece in 1850 to an Irish father and a Greek mother. After being abandoned by both of his parents, he spent some time living in Dublin's Leeson Street with his father's aunt. While in that house as a child, he was plagued by horrific nightmares of ghostly figures that would go on to inform his ghost stories and world-famous books on Japanese legends. 4. St. Michan's Church. St. Michan's Church is a 330-year-old building sitting on a site that's almost 600 years older than that. It's built directly on top of a number of huge 500-year-old burial vaults. Now, if that doesn't scream, "Oh my God, run, leave this place now, for the love of God, run," then we don't know what will. If you build something atop a burial site, let alone a 600-year-old one, you're pretty much asking to be haunted. Anyway, to this day, these vaults are still full of corpses, stacked in coffins and eerily well preserved. Some of the coffins have crumbled, while others have collapsed into piles where corpse limbs are sticking out from a mound of broken wood. Hell, some of these vaults are even completely open, revealing the mummy-like figures within. Seriously, if a zombie apocalypse was to happen, the undead could just walk right out of their graves rather than having to deal with the pesky task of digging their way out. Yikes. Anyway, eerie as that may be, the burial vaults of St. Michan's are a popular tourist attraction. Many visitors have reported feeling a strange presence, as if there was a pressure of living people all around them. The vaults are also filled with a strange murmuring noise, like many people are whispering just far enough away that you can't quite make out the words. All in all, this tourist attraction creates a truly unique and creepy experience that makes it difficult to believe that ghosts don't exist.
3,
Malahide Castle. So it goes without saying that any 800-year-old castle with a dark and gory history behind it is more than likely to have at least one ghost wandering around. Well, Dublin's Malahide Castle is no exception. In fact, Malahide is famous for having no fewer than 5 resident ghosts. The spectral Lord Galtrim, who died violently on his wedding day in the 15th century, after which his bride married his biggest rival, is said to wander the castle grounds at night, groaning from the pain of heartbreak and spear wounds alike. The beautiful, anonymous white lady in a large painting in the main hall has been reported to leave her painting and walk the corridors at night. It has also been said that another lady by the name of Maud Plunkett roams the same corridors, forever chasing her husband's unseen ghost. A ruthless lord called Miles Corbett is sometimes seen as an imposing armored soldier who suddenly breaks into pieces. But the most interesting of the castle's ghosts is Puck, a small, reclusive jester who was a caretaker of the castle during the rule of Henry VIII. There are at least 2 variations of his legend. Some say that his lover was taken away and he was later discovered to be stabbed through the heart, while other sources claim that he hung himself for what appeared to be no reason whatsoever. However, both versions of this story share one thing in common. Puck vowed to haunt and protect the castle after his death. Many are certain that he kept his promise, as the small caretaker has made numerous appearances throughout the years. His most regular haunt appears to be Puck's staircase, the stairway to the turret where he used to live. It's said he also appears in many photos taken by tourists. Even exterior shots sometimes show his impish features in the ivy of the castle's walls.
2,
Sandal Mantelpiece. Many theorists and paranormal experts agree that most ghosts are often tied to a certain location. I mean, it's difficult to think of a story in which ghosts are free to roam wherever they want, and here's where the comments section points out a contradictory ghost story. And Ghost Town featuring Ricky Gervais doesn't count. Anyway, it's been said that although a spirit may reside in one location, if you were to take a souvenir of that location away with you, the ghost might decide it's grown rather fond of whatever it is you took and follow it instead. After all, it's probably dying for a change of scenery. A 20th century stoneworker found this out the hard way when he dismantled a fireplace in the old Dunsandel house. Because he was a fan of the old aesthetic look, he decided to chop the mantelpiece out and take it with him to his workshop. I mean, they were probably going to chuck it in the trash anyway, so why not? Well, unfortunately for him, the ghost of a tall man haunted Dunsandel House, and it had attached itself to the mantelpiece. Suddenly, the stoneworker's unassuming workshop was as haunted as the worst ghost house you can think of. Objects were flying around, and a strange fiddle played at night. Presumably, the spirit itself made a few appearances as well. Well, how else would they have known it was a tall man? Well, eventually, the stoneworker was able to make this hellish apparition stop. The legend doesn't state whether he achieved this by smashing the mantle to pieces or returning it to the haunted house, but we're betting he played it safe and returned it. I mean, it would make sense when you really think about it. The thing is already pissed that you stole its property. Are you really going to go out of your way to destroy it? It would only make the ghost even more angry.
1,
The Kunin Poltergeist. Here's yet another widely popular Irish ghost story, the tale of the Kunin Poltergeist. The story centers around an abandoned cottage in a forest, where it is said that a demonic poltergeist manifested itself way back in 1913. This sounds like the perfect setup for a horror movie franchise, doesn't it? The Murphy family, who lived in the cottage, reported constantly hearing noises echo throughout the home. Noises like footsteps, tapping, snoring, spitting, and hissing, before the ghost went on to more enthusiastic activities, like throwing things across the room. 3 priests who attempted to deal with the poltergeist, all of whom saw unexplained happenings take place in the cottage, were very badly affected by the encounters. One had a nervous breakdown, one contracted spinal meningitis, and the third suffered facial paralysis. The family emigrated to the United States to be as far from the cottage as possible. And that's our list. Can you think of any we've left out? Let us know in the comments below, and please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.